So yeah, it was 1 minute. So yeah, we can start. Once again, thanks everyone for coming and joining us today. We will discuss the reshaping of mobile app growth in 2026, how we think it will reshape even more. And today, thanks everyone for joining, and especially our industry experts from across the mobile ecosystem. And I will ask everyone to introduce themselves. So first it will be me. I'm Elizabeth, Elizaveta, Lisa. You can call me anything you want. I'm right now working with Magify. We are creating ABI and LiveOps platform for mobile apps and games. And also, Chatai, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for your introduction. My name is Çağatay. I am the key account manager of SocialPeta at MENA region. So I help big publishers from both non-gaming and gaming verticals and try to help them to follow the trends and signals from the market. So I'm thrilled to share our insights from the market with the actionable data today.
Great. Thank you so much. Next is Yusuf.
Hello, I'm Yusuf, founder of Nefarius Apps. I have been building mobile apps 11 years old. I'm also contributing open source ecosystem in the Turkey software development ecosystem. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Natalia.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I'm Natalia Vasilieva, VP Marketing and Strategy at Enzo. We are the leading in-game ad technology that helps game developers and advertisers to get directly into the gameplay by serving non-intrusive, dynamically updated ads that are part of the gameplay. We work with publishers of all sizes, from the big ones to small and indie developers.
Great. Marion?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Marion Balinoff. I'm an independent influencer marketing consultant. I'm based in Barcelona. I've spent the last 12 years in influencer marketing, the last 8 of those specifically in mobile. I've worked with studios like Supercell, Wooga, or like Zynga. I focus really heavily on performance. So I'm helping studios grow influencer marketing into a real scalable channel. And over that time, I've invested over like 30 million in creator partnerships. So yeah, pleasure being here today.
Great, thanks everyone. And before we'll start talking and discussing really interesting questions, I would like to tell to our audience that you are very welcome to ask any questions. We will definitely have Q&A after the main session. And our main goal today is to share opinion, to share expertise, and of course to answer all your questions and to understand all together how we can succeed in 2026, in 2027, and more and more and more. So let's begin with the first question. Over the past year, what's been the biggest AI-driven change you've seen in mobile app growth, and how has it influenced the way your team or customers operate? I will go by the one that you've introduced yourself. So Chatai, can you please start?
Of course, it's a great question again. Thank you very much. So the biggest AI-driven change over the last 12 months hasn't been the content creation. It's been the shift over the prediction, validation, and rapid creative iteration. So a year or 2 years ago, conversation was all about like AI generate at creatives faster and cheaper. But now but now everybody has these tools, and market is completely saturated with all the contents. The real bottleneck today is which of these AI-generated creatives will actually convert before they blow your market budget. So here's how that fundamentally changed the growth teams operate during the last year. So the ad fatigue sets in 3 times faster right now. So because of the competitors can use AI to pump dozens of ad variations a week, the lifespan of the winning ad creatives has drastically shrunk. So our customers are realizing that they cannot just launch a campaign and let's try it for a month. So teams now have to monitor competitor intelligence daily to see when a specific visual hook or format is burning out in the market and pivot instantly. Like right now, instead of making one hero video, growth teams are using AI to build modular assets. They test a single 3-second hook against 20 different languages with the AI generated voiceovers and gameplay sequences. So we are seeing teams that move from testing 3 to like 4 new concepts a month to testing to 20 plus variations weekly. So operations has shifted from heavy production to heavy analysis. So competitive advantages is right now like who can produce the most content for the teams who use AI and market intelligence to validate and optimize the content the fastest. So at SocialPeta, we see a backend of this massive volume of content, and the winner right now aren't guessing; they are using intelligence platforms to spy on what AI-driven hooks are actively converting for their competitors and adapting them in real time.
Great, thank you so much. Yusuf, what do you think?
Absolutely, there are a lot of new changes coming from AI to the mobile ecosystem. I want to get close to this question from technical side a little bit because I'm a technical person. Before we give easy tasks to AI, like write this app store description, write this app store title or subtitle like that. But now we can do more. We can do more that. I think this is the biggest reason of that is MCP servers and CLIs. Even Meta has released MCP server to use Meta ad network. All you need to do is connect MCP servers together from design to development, from development to marketing. Whatever you want, it all depends on your imagination, and that's perfect. In our company, because of AI, we give repetitive tasks to AI, so we can spare more time to think about strategical decisions. We also use AI for statistical decisions in our products. I think in the long term, all companies will have to integrate AI in their all processes, I guess.
That's great. Yeah. Natalia?
I would like to zoom out a bit and speak about, the impact of AI on the industry and on mobile game development industry in specific. So if we look at the past year or, even the first half of this year, I think one shift is clear. AI is not a novelty anymore. It started to own defined functions. And the previous panelists spoke a bit about the specific functions. I would like to add that creative is another function that has been heavily impacted by AI. If we want to speak about details, but the trend is clear. AI helped us and helped game developers and all of us in the mobile industry to free up our team's time from operational routine things, and around 80% of some operational things can be or have already been posted to AI, which basically frees up teams' time to work on the strategy, roadmap, like the creative direction, and focus on what's next, while the technology does the rest. And again, if we speak about specific functions, I would like to highlight that 56% of 100 mobile grossing companies used AI across the board, okay, like to produce creatives or to be part of the development or insights generation. While around 90% of developers use AI in the development workflow, you know, in the specific spaces, just to again help to save time on the specific areas, which is great as it gives us a bit, you know, more time. So I'd like to highlight again, like we don't speak about AI owning functions, we speak about AI freeing up teams' time across the board. And that's not a trend, but the
Yeah.
reality already.
Marion, what do you think?
So for me, for influencer marketing specifically, and this is something that the other guests have touched upon. So we know that AI has compressed timelines massively in many areas. But it's not necessarily the case for influencer marketing because there are still some of those steps in the campaign process that remain manual and more human in some ways, as more like on the creator selection, in building connection with the influencers or the managers in order to deliver the best campaigns possible. And so I think for me, it's more about managing this sort of mismatch between the expectation that, you know, UA managers and CMOs have in terms of like campaign timeline and how fast it is to put a campaign together. So they don't really expect that an influencer campaign can be set up and live as fast as, you know, a meta ad iteration, basically. So it's more about like managing expectations and seeing how in the influencer marketing process, some of those steps have been fast forwarded thanks to AI, but not all of them. And so that's something that people that do not have the knowledge or the expertise in influencer marketing might assume. And it's more about making sure that everybody's on the same page here.
Thank you so much. I will definitely agree with every one of you. And also, I would like to add a little bit from my side that it's not only talking about mobile apps and games, but in general, AI joined our lives like year ago, 1 year and half a year ago. I wouldn't even like, I heard about that, maybe, yeah, I used it for something, but right now it's like the routine. My every day is starting with Claude or with ChatGPT, and I'm asking questions, I'm answering, I'm creating new strategies. And of course, if teams are not using it right now, I don't know what they are doing, because everyone is definitely free their time to get to be more creative, to be more productive, to switch their routine to their AI tools and so on. So definitely, I think that it became like our colleague right now, and that definitely is true that all the founders, CEOs of mobile apps and games, of any other businesses, SaaS businesses, and so on, they want their people to know AI, to know how to work with it, to know how to save time and how to create more and more revenue, of course, using it. So yeah, this is the main point from my side, and let's go to the questions. Yusuf, you will be the one to share with us that AI has significantly lowered the barriers to building mobile apps. As the founder, do you think that the real competitive advantage has shifted from development speed to how quickly teams can validate, iterate, and grow after launch? What does that process look like today?
I agree with that totally. I absolutely decreased mobile development barrier. Today, it's easy to develop apps, build products, whatever you want. It's easy. I think the important part is getting feedbacks from users as quick as possible and iterate the product to users again and getting feedback again. It's a loop. Uh, that's the main logic of agile development, actually. We nowadays we gotta know that how to use the product from users. It's weird that because we already boot that user, but we already boot that product, but we have to understand how the product has to be used by the users. It's weird. Our process is simple like that: analyze first, design, then develop, test, and marketing. Uh, to be quick, we mostly skip the design part even. also the test part, because we have to iterate the mobile product as soon as possible and get feedback from the users. Nowadays, we focus on marketing more than development. So I think in the near future, also the long term, this also will be the most important part of the mobile development, like now and like the past. Thank you.
Great. So thank you so much. Chitai, what do you think? Looking at the data across thousands of mobile apps, what major shifts in user acquisition and creative strategy have surprised you the most this year? And as AI lowers the barrier to content creation, what will differentiate the highest performing app marketers going forward?
Okay, that's a good question again. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. When we checked our latest reports about the trends from the last 1 year, we saw something counterintuitive, like the total number of active mobile app advertisers actually shrank year over year, but the volume of ad creatives being pumped into the market hit an all-time high. So what does tells to us? It means that mid players who relied on cheap broad traffic are being squeezed out. So major shift we are seeing is that driven growth has reached its limits. You can no longer buy your way to the top with massive budget and spray and pray approach. So the market has forcibly shifted to a retention first economy. The other major surprise is how quickly ad fatigue is compounding. As I mentioned at the first question, AI has completely democratized the content creation. The market is fluid. So the bottleneck is no longer a creation, it's the consumption. So users' attention is scarcer than ever, meaning that winning creative that might have lasted 3 weeks in 2024 now burns out in a matter of days. So what differentiates the winners in 2026? When AI lower the barrier of entry, execution becomes everything. Like the winning teams builds the creative systems, not the creative assets. So the top performers aren't just using the AI to generate cool creatives. They are building integrated production systems. So they use AI and market intelligence tools to ingest and analyze what is actually working for the competitors, break those winning ads down into modular components, use the generative AI to test 40 to 50 variations. In our system, we also have like the content insights feature that provides which combinations are the most performing for one product on the content level. So the best UA teams are comfortable letting AI agents to manage their campaigns, but only they have validated the data. So they are optimizing for their 30 retention and predictive LTV within the first 24 hours of an install, rather than the celebrating like cheap day zero installs that never convert. And the third differentiate this year is the deep localization over the broad translation. As global expansion becomes a necessity to find the cheaper CPIs, AI is allowing top marketers to move past simple translation. The winners are using AI to culturally adapt the nuance, pacing, and visual slang of their creatives to perfectly match regional expectations.
That's great. Thank you so much. So I think that we have a question, but I think we will answer it a little bit later after we've done. So let's switch to me. I will talk about live ops, that it has become one of the biggest drivers of long-term app growth, definitely yes. And from Magify's perspective, how is AI changing the way app teams plan, personalize, and optimize live ops experience? And what opportunities we are seeing that weren't possible just a few years ago? So I actually have a little bit of slides, and let me just find them. Yeah, let's do it. I will share my screen. I will share the window. Not Chrome tab, I will share. So let's talk. First, I want to say that right now, especially for the last year, during a lot of conferences, I see that a lot of live ops analytics tools are coming to the market that were created by AI. This is the first and one of the biggest changing, that right now you can create something just for a couple of weeks. You don't need to have the big team and so on. But for me, I want to advise you, when you want to choose any tool that will operate inside your app or a game, you need to choose wisely, because there is a lot of errors, bugs, and all of that can appear, and you definitely don't want them. Because what AI is doing mostly, that it one way it make everything easier, because right now, when a couple of years ago we could just we need to, in order to compete with unicorns of the market, we need to have a lot of money. We need to, or either have a really brilliant, unbelievable idea that no one can repeat. We need to have the team that will be developed a lot, and they will be the also unicorns of the mobile game market. For example, they will have a lot of experience, or they can create amazing creatives or playables and so on. But right now, AI can help you with it. And talking especially about live ops. First of all, we usually start with segmentation. And right now, as Yusuf also told, that MCP is coming to the market. And also in Magify, for example, as a year ago, we were developing the system that you set up yourself. Right now, we are adding MCP to it. So you can just ask what you need to do, just ask for any suggestions, or just ask to create something. I would just tell you, do not give AI the possibility to make any decisions, still not yet, because I am definitely sure that we need to have people, we need to have experts that can run, we need to have producers, we need to have live ops managers, user acquisition analytics, and so on. The people who will make the decisions depending on their, I would say, human sense of their knowledges and all of that. And also, you can't rely on AI totally, because in order of any mistake, the person will learn and it will change it. But AI will tell you, "Oh, sorry, you're right," and that's all. So talking about live ops, you can ask for any segment. You can ask, for example, create the segment that is based. Or no, let's do it easier. Create the segment for my free-to-play game for users who just launched it and they came from Facebook ad, for example, and they've spent their first, or they bought their first in-app. Or you can ask the MCP to look at your data, to analyze your app, to analyze the player's behavior, and create the segments, or suggest you different segments depending on it. So it gives you so much opportunities in order to monetize your application, because the main problem in the market that we have right now, that we can't monetize properly. The user acquisition is high, and it will just get higher. We can't do anything with it, but we can monetize better. We can create more interesting live ops, and so on. So starting with segmentations, which right now you can have one person who is doing it. You can have producer who is generating different segments using AI. And after that, you can, now let's go to event content. You can create any idea of any event just by the click. Like, I've generated this content creator maybe for, I don't know, 15 minutes. So basically, for example, we have the game. We can have, I don't know, Neon City, Pirate Cove, anything. We can choose what we're going to do. Maybe I want to create it for Japan, and we can generate. And it creating me the user's path, it creating me the live ops experience, and that's all. And I can set up it, and I'm having it. After that, maybe I need to have creatives. So this is very simple. I've tried like to make it not, let's do show all 6. Yeah. So creative, you can create anything you want. You can choose a lot of, it's not It doesn't look very nice, but in order to understand, it's okay. So you can create, I don't know, maybe try this theme, or maybe try this, or maybe create anything you want and choose. And also not to only choose, but you can A/B test it very easily. For example, you don't know what users will like, or maybe you want to create different experience for each country. Right now, you can create any battle for Japan, any battle for Turkey, any battle for Brazil using their unique, I don't know, costumes, anything, nature, anything you want to add to make people engage with your game more. Because also right now, even retention is becoming very low. So in order to make people stay in your game, you can also do this. And of course, ask Don to learn. Any dashboard, you can just ask and it will create you. For example, why did the winter generate working, and it's telling you what happened. So AI is definitely reshaping everything, and especially about live ops, because right now, if you are not doing it, you can't compete with the unicorns of the market. If you are doing it, you can. You can do it, you can create. So yes, I think this is everything from my side. Let go to Natalia. In-game advertising is evolving from traditional ad placement to more immersive and native brand experiences. How do you see AI helping brands and games developers create more personalized advertising experience while maintaining a seamless player experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. It's worth mentioning right at the beginning that this trend of having more personalized, non-interrupted ad experiences is not new. And basically, that's why and how Anzu got founded, as we've always pushed and we we worked hard to create ads that are part of the environment, and that's what, by the way, both brands and advertisers, game developers and gamers alike really wanted to see. So, it's not new and it's been here for a while. We, as end users, I'm sure that you agree, everyone wants that shift. We don't want interruption. We want relevant ads at the right time with the right content, right? Promoting the right things for us. And I can say that AI here is just one of the tools or a mechanism that can help to make it more scalable. We spoke a lot about, the changes, the shifts, and all of us agree that AI helps across the board, across functions. And Elizabeth, you just spoke about live ops, which is, part of basically ad serving and ad creation. So we cannot, cut one segment and say, hey, AI is helpful here. And by the way, I say a lot of questions, or a few questions were about like how to define the right things to capitalize on AI if you're a small studio, or like how to make sure that ads are, or monetization is personalized, yet we adhere to all the data regulations. And, if we speak about AI data and privacy, I think that's another big topic because we are just at the beginning of our way, and yes, there are a lot of gaps, and that's exactly why we still speak, and thanks God we speak about the fact that we as humans need to operate AI, right? We are still orchestrating that, which is great, and we need to keep doing that, and it's applied a lot to data privacy and what to share and how to share and what not to share. But getting back to immersive ad experiences and how AI helps. I would like to break it down, in a in a few areas. First, I would like to highlight that in-game advertising is projected to grow more and more. It's been growing steadily over the past years, and we see the same trend, which everybody I think understands why. As consumers, we want like free content or content that does not cost so much. Game developers still need to spend tons of money on the production, so it's the right balance. Ads is a win-win for the industry. But I would like to highlight that AI-driven targeting and demand for immersive brand experiences is expected to be the primary growth driver for the in-game advertising growth. So it basically means that the entire industry relies and will rely heavily on AI. And here's what I want to speak about in more detail. So if we speak about data and relevance, that's where AI comes in as contextual analysis, as the game classification, as the user behavioral and contextual signals. It's something that AI can help to identify and leverage in seconds. We cannot do it as fast as AI can, unfortunately. I mean, technologies are here, obviously, but AI just, is used as a connector. It helps to connect the dots, to connect the systems, and to analyze the data in seconds. That gives the insights needed for all of us to get the content that we want to get. This personalization that we are speaking about. Okay, so that's the first area where AI is used a lot, but then also speed of action in all of that data. We speak a lot about dynamic creative optimization, DCO. It's a great thing, and yes, AI is a big part of creative optimization. But this dynamic creative optimization is really something that makes us to create the ads that are relevant to the end user, that have higher CTAs and CTRs, which is important. And data shows that AI generated creatives are roughly 12%, show 12% higher CTR than like the human created and generated creatives. And yeah, like dynamic content optimization really helps to save the costs at certain costs and bring better results when it comes to conversion rates. So that's something that is the next element based on the data and relevance, and then dynamic creative optimization. And then if we speak about reporting, that's ad serving and reporting. That's another big area where AI helps a lot. Helps a lot to save time, to eliminate human errors a lot, and connect the dots between the things that we might not think about. Yes, algorithms, if you build them right, algorithms are more flawless than us and our brains in many ways when it comes to the analysis. And that's something that should be leveraged. Again, it saves tons of time and it gives you the connections and the insights that you might not think about, that helps you then to drive and build the strategies that are more sophisticated and relevant to your audiences. And that's everything that game developers want to have. And so to sum it up, AI is just the leverage, another tool that we can leverage to speak about the right moment, the right content, and seamless ad serving experience.
That's true. Thank you so much. Marion, right now, I want to ask you, influencer marketing has become an important growth channel for many apps, but finding the right creators and measuring real impact can still be challenging. How AI changing the way brands identify, collaborate with, and optimize influencer partnerships?
Yes, to my point earlier, there are many aspects of the campaign process with influencer marketing that have been changed and fast forwarded thanks to AI. I'm thinking more specifically about like search and outreach, right? So now with AI, so either influencer marketing tools specifically, or even now with like all the LLMs that you have, and some of them even have like integrations with those specific influencer marketing tools. But like this is where I see the biggest lift so far. So you can have a list of influencers that's done in seconds when it would take you in the past a lot longer, a lot more resources as well. And the next step to that is also outreach, because to give people context, when you work with influencers, it is extremely time consuming because if you want to work with 10 influencers, you will most likely have to contact on average 100 of them. So 10x what you need to work with. So, and the reason for that is because when you contact 100 influencers, you're going to have 50 of them that are never going to reply to you. And from the 50 that are going to reply to you, only half are going to actually be interested in the campaign that you're offering to them. And from those, you're going to only have a few that are going to be available at the right time, at the right price, with the right set of deliverables, right? So that's why the search and the outreach phases are probably where we're seeing the biggest lift, and because now you also have tools that help you outreach to those influencers and even negotiate with the influencers until you get to the point where you have an agreement with the influencer in terms of price and in terms of availability. This also comes with a cost in a way because you're talking to people, right? So and people now can spot that they're talking to an AI, and so it might actually not play in your favor. So you might save time, but you might get less responses because people are not going to be wanting to negotiate with an AI, right? So you might be able to contact 10,000 influencers, but in the end, if your response rate is lower because it is poorly done, that's a trade-off that you need to consider. But in terms of scale, I think that's where you see the massive, the biggest win. I think, and this is what I was saying at the beginning, like the selection of the influencers should still remain with a human eye. The reason for that is because if AI would look into numbers, it can be very much biased in the sense that, okay, you can see influencers with maybe a high engagement rate. And so you have likes, you've got comments, which are really important on the post. But then you realize actually, and this is something that AI might not realize, or at least if it's not trained properly, that all those comments are people commenting emojis, fire emoji, heart emoji, and that's actually not really people that are engaged. It's just they're reacting versus comments that are longer, asking question, interacting with the influencer, and so that makes kind of a difference. And so, if you leave the selection to AI, they might not be able to spot maybe some controversial topics, maybe some content that is heavily scripted and that might not sound as organic as a human eye would think of. So I do think it will change in the future, and there will be AI that will be trained to have a bigger weight on those selecting factors. But for now, it is still not the case. So there's that, and there's obviously the all the part about reviewing the content, making sure that not only the drafts of the influencers include everything that you were asking from them, but also that the tone of voice sounds nice, that the match between what are the visuals between the visuals and the talking points from the influencer makes sense. There are still a lot of aspects to it that would require human eye, and then one thing where I think AI can definitely help a lot is on the analysis side of things. If you provide them with a big set of data, I think obviously AI will be able to spot patterns, will be able to, help on the analysis. But again, it needs to be trained to look at the right KPIs with the right context, because again, in influencer marketing, there are so many things that can impact the performance, from, the influencer themselves to the content that they have produced to the audience demographic to so many things. So, if you just rely on an AI to extract the learnings and the conclusions from a campaign, you will most likely miss out on a lot. So I think it's more to enable influencer marketing managers to do their job on a bigger scale and faster, rather than obviously replacing people. So bottom line, I really think that there's a real and meaningful speed gain in the process, but it does not mean that it's instant. And I would also highlight the fact that any agency or tool that's promising a campaign that launches, at the snap of your finger, it's a very big red flag. So run away from those, because you will have steps of the process that will be completely compressed and that will harm your campaign results. And so oftentimes when people want to test influencer marketing, whether it is for a mobile game, for an app, they will test it, and I've queried many, many times where they tell me we've tested it, it doesn't work for us. And it's like most likely there was many steps in that process that were not done correctly. And if it was, then you would reach the desired results after, obviously some time where you've invested time and resources to optimize that channel. So a lot of gains in a way. But those gains come with loss of something else, which is oftentimes the human connection. But yeah, it's a really a nuanced answer from my side.
Thank you so much. So we've done with the main questions. Right now, we will summarize with the one advice that we can give to app teams looking to use AI more effectively to drive growth in 2026. I would like to start. And first of all, use AI. I still know that some companies are not doing it, so you definitely need to start, because I think that in a year it will develop so much that you will be like 100 years past if you are not using it. So you need to use it, but use it wisely. Don't forget that humans are still the ones who need to make decisions. Plus AI, humans of course can do mistakes, but AI also can do it, and sometimes even to get like simply result is it can be very difficult, especially, I don't know, when you're creating any type of data, like what day today is, and they are a little bit confused. So yeah, start using it, choose wisely, and also rely on the people with experience. Don't think that AI can replace everyone, just like that. Yusuf, what do you think?
I like to say take advantage of AI for sure, like classic one. But most important thing is to save time by taking advantage of AI, because the time is limited. A day is 24 hours. When you have extra time, you can spare more time for yourself. You can build new strategies in your products. Maybe you build a new idea, a new product idea. Maybe you build generate new creatives to use in the ad network. Maybe you can create new ad campaigns. So on the other side, you should think AI is your assistant, not your boss. I think this is the most wrong way to think. Most of the users of people. Also, we should use AI to get more users. There are a lot of users in the world, so that means they are potential target users of our products. So from the technical perspective, we should make the product perfect if needed, by the way. We can write more test cases. We can generate more test cases by AI. I think in the development side, writing tests is the best way to use AI agents, because it's easy to create and write and validate tests in the development side. I'm sure AI we will be keep using AI in the mobile ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Chetay, what do you think?
Okay, so I will add something to your contributions to that. We must stop treating AI merely as a content factory and start utilizing it as a strategic and directional filter. So the most common trap we observe across the industry is the utilization of AI is purely for the volume. You can generate like 50s, 60 variants of ad variants and iterate like lots of copy ads. But however, in the market is already saturated, and the AI generated noise and scaling ineffective ideas at a faster rate simply depletes your acquisition budget more rapidly. So AI makes it exceptionally easy to automate execution, but it does not automate strategy. So if you feed an AI engine generic concepts, it will simply make your replication invisible in 10 times. So we are seeing a paradigm shift among the high-performing teams that are to constantly analyze their competitor ad strategy with the ad intelligence tools, see the signals from the market, and optimize their campaigns with AI, with the help of the AI, not the directed by the AI. So this real-time data could provide very significant impact of the marketing campaigns. And I think you must allow market data to dictate your build, not allow AI to dictate how fast you can build. So, like create your own strategy, but use AI as an assistant to execute it faster. It's my opinion
Thank you.
and recommendation.
Natalia, what will you advise to our audience and to us?
Sure. So on top of what has been already mentioned, my advice would be pick one function, not everything. It's great to follow the trends. It's great to know how big guys activate AI and what results it brings, but only you know your specific company, your team, their strengths and weaknesses, the gaps, and your like what's next kind of, yeah, or your strategy and roadmap. Based on that, pick one function that will work for you, not for your friends, neighbors, or competitors. Because the gap in the market is not the lack of knowledge of what AI can bring, it's the gap of implementation. Okay, it's the gap between testing and operating, because we say that we have AI, but then if you dive deeper, in most cases, the implementation has not been done from A to Z, and that's what harms. So pick up one function that needs help or you want to boost, you want to leverage, do a test, and then replicate the success one by one. Again, knowing your team, knowing where there are elements that you want to enhance or where you want to double down on. And don't add AI to every process just for the sake of adding AI, because the depth here is much more meaningful than the breadth. And the fact that you add it from A to Z without calculating how much you save, without calculating or probably knowing how much the AI tool that you want to implement will cost you versus the human resource and versus the time and all the elements that it takes during the implementation. So think about quality, not quantity. And I spoke about first-party data and how important the data is for ad serving. But again, your company, you have your user data or the first-party data. Don't forget to leverage that, because AI is great only when the input data is correct and meaningful. So think about it as well. And good luck.
Thank you. Marion, what do you think?
To add on to what Natalia was saying, I think it's really important that everybody remembers that AI obviously is an incredibly powerful tool, but at the same time, it has a very much important impact on our society and the environment, right? So on society, let's not forget that we are humans first, and if there are things that you can do yourself, you might do them even better than AI, right? So let's not just go by default asking AI for stuff where there's actually no need, and actually better because you know your job better. And on top of that, obviously, the environmental impact is massive, and with all the heat waves that I'm in Europe, so I'm I'm aware of what's happening specifically in Europe, but like with all the heat waves that are happening in Europe, with all the fires happening, and the impact of all the data centers on the environment is again massive. So don't use AI just for the sake of using AI. Just use it when it makes sense and when it's going to actually empower you. There are many people using AI for nonsense. And I think it's really, really important to have this in mind. And as much as I use AI on almost a daily basis for work, I try also to limit my usage to make it more responsible and make it, worth it.
I just hope everyone will be so responsible as you are. But unfortunately, yeah, we see this trend when you just I don't know, randomly chatting or giving like stupid questions and so on. So thanks everyone. We are going to Q&A. I will ask first the questions from Q&A and after I will scroll through the chat. So Olivia asking, with AI making creative production much faster, Chata, I think it's for you. How can marketers avoid producing similar looking ads and create content that truly stands out?
Yeah, so it's basic. I tried to explain the exact situation at at the last question. So let use AI to as an execution engine, not a creative strategies. You should have like the humans at the top of the business to like the person who is going to make the decision making. Second, you need to analyze the competitors' strategies. So you cannot run away from the sameness of some AI visuals, etc. So you need to create a personal and responsive hook points and get the reaction from the users at the first seconds of the creatives. So if you want to be like successful on the marketing strategy on specific regions, specific profiles, you need to understand the user's perspective and analyze the other what they are doing on the market, etc.
I think that this is not only because of AI, but in general, I'm like trying to remember the creative that I saw. And I think that because we have the tools that can help us to analyze the competitors, and of course, we need to use them. But it's not only AI creatives that are similar looking. A lot of like we see something interesting, we are doing it. We are like trying to repeat it, especially if we see the high numbers that it has like amazing conversion or anything like that. So, of course, we need to try, but we'll definitely, we wouldn't like create the wheel. So
Yeah,
that's why, yeah.
you're right.
Thank you so
And
much.
lastly, I would like to say that you don't need to be original every time. So don't try to be every time to be original and specific.
Yeah, sometimes if it is working, let it work. So why not? Yeah, let's go to the chat. The first question, I think, is from Sam. For smaller app teams with limited budgets and resources, what AI-powered strategies or tools would you recommend prioritizing first to compete with larger players? I think it's a great question. I think that we need to start with Claude, and after that we can scroll through others. But I think you need to prioritize who is the expert in your team. For example, you definitely need to use something for analytic because you need to see those numbers. You need to understand what's going on in the market. You need to understand what's going on with your app and building your own analytics system. It will cause you a lot of problems and a lot of money. So definitely look at that. Also, depending on the designers that you have, maybe you have someone very talented and who is creating a lot of ideas, and using a little bit of AI can make the life much easier and not to spend a lot of budget. And also, I would say that use Magify, of course, because you can use us even for free, and maybe for remote configuration creation, for example, and maybe anyone wants to add something. Maybe Yusuf. I also want to ask you these questions. Do you use or do you do any vibe coding in your games, or it's just developing? Only developers, you rely only on them.
We
Mhm.
mostly we must do vibe coding, but since we are developers, I'm developer based, so I do vibe coding from the technical side. Like I just don't put prompts into the chat. I think before that, I think the structure of the application product from the technical side. But since for 2 years or something like that, I don't write the code manually. Most of the time, I just type the prompt, but the prompt must be clear and give the definition of technical perspective. I mean, there are some technical requirements, you have to follow them. Otherwise, after the first version of the product, uh, you can't add more features to the product because all the code base is like spaghetti, or you can't use them in the later. Yeah, to summarize, we do even we are developers, we must do vibe coding. We like that.
Maybe anyone would like to advise something for smaller teams. Okay, no advices. I'm joking, but the advice is just to use web coding. Use tools that you can find, especially use AI tools that are on hype right now. They are developing and developing. Try to find something. Use them all together. For example, you can create prompt with ChatGPT. You can put it in Claude, and it will work much better than it would be. But don't forget about data. We also, I think we can discuss it at the end. I think we have the questions like that. So next will be one, as apps increasingly rely on AI for personalization and user insights. How should companies balance better user experience with privacy concerns and data regulations? Yeah, so basically, I will quickly answer here about privacy and data from our side, because in Magify, when we are developing MCP, our CTO and the whole department, they creating the thing that can't share your data with anyone, because even right now when we're working with Claude, sometimes you have these like sneaky parts when you can type the prompt that way that it can give you some other users information or what they were typing or doing. They are also developing, and also AI tools, they are trying to regulate it more and more and more. So you will work only with your data, not with any others. So just like that, just find a tool that rely on privacy, on data, that is very much concerned about that. So yeah, maybe
I can
Natalia.
add, yeah, I can add here that, privacy and data has been developing really, really fast. And yeah, we've been living in this turbulence. I think the first huge change came with GDPR. It's been a while, right? But a lot of us are still like absorbing and trying to accommodate that. And there are many more laws, like in the US, for example, each state or every second state has their own privacy regulations. So if you have the users and you serve ads in the US, you should also be aware of that. So what I can advise on is first to be aware of the trends, because, and not trends, but the regulations, and when they come into power, as the institutions give us some time for us, right, to adopt the change. So don't ignore that time. Use it to accommodate what you do towards the privacy regulation in a specific region or a specific industry, and then adhere to them, because otherwise it might cost you tons of money. I can also say that working with good partners when it comes, to, like, we speak about personalization and insights and ad serving, when it comes to insights generation, is very important, because you need to know that your partner can be trusted, and together you can define what works for both sides. yeah, but like staying on top of the regulations, adhering to them, and again, like defining the partners and working with the institutions like the IB. They give a lot of free resources and educational sessions on how to adopt is very important. Don't ignore these free resources, and don't ignore the regulations.
Yeah, I think that maybe even sometimes it can be like, I don't want to read it or I want to dive into it, but you need to be concerned about your data. No one would. So you need to be the one who is concerned and who need to understand when you are sharing, with whom are you sharing? Is it like closed or not? Or is it even maybe it's open and you are sharing with everyone? Or maybe your data will be used in benchmarks and so on. So just find out about that. And Marion, as you didn't answer any question, I would like to ask the question from my side. What do you think? You were talking about influencers, how to find them, but what do you think about AI influencers, like the one that are created by AI? Do it will be like in hype, or it's just something that wouldn't work?
I think as everything that's new, there's hype around it. But I hope and I believe it will not become such a big thing in the future. We see people being lonelier and lonelier and looking for human connections everywhere, looking for, relatability with other people. And you can actually see already with like real influencers, the one that are very aspirational, that are very where the life looks perfect, they tend not to be the one that perform best, because people might be watching them, but they are not really influencing anyone because they're not really relatable. And so I do believe, and again, I hope that in the future people will not be following AI influencers because, again, it's not going to be relatable. It's not going to be very much human. And so, hopefully that's not where the world is going.
Yeah, I totally share this opinion. So I think we are done. We answered all the questions. We've got a great panel discussion. I'd love to. I'm very happy that I was the moderator and I heard all of you sharing your experience about this topic. So I think we are done. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
everyone. Bye-bye.